Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I thought I would come at you guys with a big ol' foster care update. I have not sat down in front of a camera in probably over 2 weeks at this point. So let's chat, let's catch up, because a lot has happened since then. If you guys have followed my TikTok and or like still YouTube, but on the more like Reels, Shorts side of things, you'll know a little bit more. I have posted a couple of stuff on there. If you hear any noises, our foster baby is playing right now, so there's not much I can do about that. You'll have seen some things over there about us getting licensed and just some of the process of things that we've been doing, like, I don't know, random things. So definitely check that out, because I feel like it's so much easier at this stage now to make the shorter form content, which beforehand I would have never said that. I would have said like, ugh, I hate making short form content. I love sitting down in front of a camera, but now that's just not my reality. But let's get into this. So the last time you guys saw me, I was talking about we were officially licensed, I believe, and we were just getting the house prepared. We were already pretty prepared, but yeah, I just wanted to feel even more prepared. So when I had filmed that video, we had gotten licensed. I think it was 2 days later after that we got our first call. I thought I would talk about the process first, and then I can get into more of like how I'm doing and personal things like that. So got the placement call, and we didn't get too much information. The only information we got was gender, age, and like circumstances. Why were they being put into foster care? That's pretty much it. I asked a couple of questions like, was there any like, were they developmentally behind at all? And they had answered with, we don't really think so. There was like a slight possibility that our foster placement had been held a lot, and so they were a little concerned about that, but that ended up not panning out. They are perfectly normal and fine. And I don't remember asking too many other questions. I remember asking more questions about like the circumstances than the actual placement. After the initial call was placed, because it was not during business hours, it was all the on-call people that I was dealing with. So the person who called me from our agency wasn't actually from my city. After the initial placement call was made, then it was probably another 30 or 45 minutes after that before we got like, I guess you would call that the official call. Like, we got another call from the people here saying, hey, you know, are you ready? When can you take them? That kind of thing. So it was, hey, here's all the information. Does that sound good? And we were like, yes, that sounds good. Another 30 or 45 minutes after that, and this was in the morning, 30 or 45 minutes after that, another call that basically said, hey, we have the placement and are ready to come. When can we come? And we were home I was home all day, so I was like, hey, whenever you want to come, you can come on over. So they loaded up and came over right away. So it was maybe another 45 minutes after that placement was here. Now, luckily, because it was after hours, I was here, my husband was here, and because we were working on our house that day, my parents were here and my husband's parents were here. So we had a fully packed up house here ready to take this placement, which I was like, hopefully that's not overwhelming, but they were fine. Whenever they got to our house, then it was really just like a handoff. Like, here is the child. Do you have any questions? I said, not really. I mean, I was like, do you know when I'll hear from someone? They were like, no. And I was like, cool. There was really no information. It was really just a, care for them until we can get back with you on Monday when we're back in our office. Cool. I was like, all right. So we had them from then on through the weekend, and Monday came around and we heard from our case manager, who is a doll, and got a little bit more information. We were actually able to find more information just online than through anybody else, and we're able to find a little bit more about the situation. As of now, we've had our placement. As of filming this, I have no idea when it's gonna be edited and actually put up, but as of filming this, we have had our placement for roughly 2 weeks now, and we still have heard absolutely nothing from their side, which I'm hearing from our case manager is not the normal. So we don't 100% know what's going on with that. So I don't really know a whole lot of information about our placement other than things that I've heard through the grapevine, I guess you could say. So we're still waiting on a lot more information, but our side has been very communicative and that has been amazing. So the first full week that we had our placement, we were required to get a physical done, and we were required to get their WIC set up, WIC. I think that's throughout the whole United States. Fact check me if I'm wrong. Yeah, we had to get their WIC set up. So I am so sorry if you guys can hear that. I have no control over the amount of noise that's being made. I literally have none. So I got the physical done. They weren't able to tell me a whole lot because of the hospital that I went to, that apparently they were born at or had been to or anything. So there was literally no information in that system. She didn't know a whole lot about that. But we were able to find out a little bit more once we got the WIC set up, because our foster child had been on WIC before. So they had a little bit more information that they could give me off of that. So those were the two major things that happened. Other than that, it was just trying to figure out, like, where are you at? What have you been accustomed to? What do you know how to do? Like, it was really just learning our foster placement. And I want to say it was like really a little bit difficult that first week, because obviously I've never had a child of my own. So it felt like having a newborn, even though it wasn't. Like, it felt like I was learning a whole bunch of information and thinking about a whole lot of things that I'd never had to think about. In the second week, we finally got a call that was to set up visitation. And at first I thought it was a spam call, because I was like, I have no idea who this is. But found out it was the visitation center, I guess. And in Indiana, which is where we're from, you actually, or at least in our area, you actually don't have any really involvement with the biological parents. It's all kind of done around you. So for the visitations, someone comes and picks up the foster child and takes them to the visitation. I don't have to do anything. I don't even have to pack anything. Like, that's on the biological parents. Like, I don't have to really do anything. I just have to hand the child to the person, and then they take them and then they bring them back. So once a week we get like a 3-hour time period where our child is at visitation with their family. So that is really all I know about the process so far. I'm gonna try and keep you guys as updated as possible. Obviously, I cannot reveal a whole bunch of information. I'm sure the process is similar for every placement, but I will not be going into detail about like what our placement is or any real information about them. But let's get into personally. Personally, it has been a rough adjustment period, but a blessing in disguise. I also asked you guys on my Instagram for some questions, which I got some. So if you want to stay updated, I also do post on Instagram a little bit, so you can stay updated through that. Let me look back at the question so I know what I'm doing. Okay, one of the questions I got was, how is your heart doing with the adjustment to baby life? Yeah. Baby life is crazy. It is the total opposite of where my life was the day before I got my placement call. So yeah, it has been a crazy adjustment. My heart, like personally, I think there has been so many amazing things that have come from the past 2 weeks, but there's also been so many struggles. My heart hurts for their situation, but my heart is so full that we get to love on them. Like, it's such a weird balance of feeling like, ugh, what a crappy situation that this child is in, but also like how lovely that we get to love on them. So I think that answers the question. I got a lot of questions about like, how are you adjusting to foster parent life? And I would say like, we only have one placement right now, and it's more just been about like a learning situation. Like, I just have learned so much. The first week was so mentally exhausted because of how much I had to like keep track of. I've never had to think of anything else other than myself for that amount of time. So mentally I was just drained, and I still think I'm on that a little bit. It probably doesn't help that it's like my time of the month, so that doesn't help anything. But the first week was rough. This past week has been a whole lot better. And then somebody else asked, did you have to get everything ready for a potential baby or kid before you got the first call? And to answer that, yes and no. Yes, we had to have like the necessities. We had to have the necessities. Bed, we had to have like food, we had to have running water, like all the things that came along with getting our license we had to have. But you do get like a little bit of money to get them clothes and stuff when they get here. I personally had every single thing ready to go. We didn't have to leave the house really at all the first like week. We went out and got a couple more things than we actually needed, but it wasn't like a necessity. I had everything that we needed here, so I was prepared. Something that I didn't expect was how quickly I would fall in love with our placement. They are just so cute, so content and happy, and I don't know what I expected, but it was not that. This placement has been the perfect first placement for us. I couldn't have chosen a better placement for us. Our family and friends have been the most supportive ever. Like, I have not yet cooked a meal in the past 2 weeks. I have not had to worry about, you know, going to the store by myself because someone's always offering to bring us stuff or go with us. Yeah. Our dog is adjusting. Our dog is obviously a little jealous of the attention the baby's getting, and she's a little nosy. My dog is a little bit nosy. Sadie is always sticking her nose in business. Sadie's also confused about the toy situation. She's like, are those mine? Are they not? That's been an adjustment of itself. But overall, I would say we're doing very good. Just praying over our foster child, praying over their family, and just trying to prepare our hearts. Because I think reality set in this week that like they do have to go back, and not that I didn't know that before, but it just set in like, oh, we actually love this child and what's best for them. And so we're just praying that what's best for them happens, and we will prepare our hearts for that specific kind of grief when it comes. But just loving on them while they're here. We again have no information on how long they'll be with us or anything like that yet, and so just loving them as much as possible while they're here and making sure that they're completely taken care of. And yeah, if you guys have any other questions or anything you want me to address, please leave that in the comments down below and I will get back to you guys on that. As you could tell by how noisy it's been in the background, filming is just hard with a little baby around, and yeah, it's just harder. So I'm getting used to that adjustment as well. Life is just crazy right now. we hope to get more placements soon with school starting back up and everything. We'd love to open our home to a couple more kiddos, but we've been praying that God knows what's right for us, so we won't get any calls that aren't, you know, specifically for us. So that's been the prayer. I hope that the Lord is blessing you in so many amazing ways this week, and I don't know when I'll see you guys next, but hopefully it is soon, and maybe a little bit less noisy, but probably not. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.